Today I'm making some cinnamon rolls, and since I do mine a little different, I thought that I would do a video on it. I know everybody in the world has a cinnamon roll recipe. What I do is I take 1 tablespoon plus 1 teaspoon of yeast. And actually, this is Aunt Duddy's poofy bun recipe that I have changed up a little bit for cinnamon rolls. If you haven't tried that the poofy buns recipe, give that a try because that's real good. Now they have a teaspoon of sugar, and in all you need half cup of water. Make this warm water. So I'm going to add about 1/4 cup here and get this yeast started. Just stir that up and set it aside. I use 2 cups of all-purpose flour and 2 cups of bread flour. I think that the secret to a cinnabon is vanilla pudding. So I think it's used not only in the dough but in the filling as well. So I took 3 tablespoons of vanilla pudding and set that aside. This will be used in the filling. And I took the rest of the package and I'm adding that to the dough. I'm adding a stick of butter, and I'll just cut that up. And I know that you're supposed to add these ingredients in a particular order when you use your bread machine, but I never go by that. I just add it all in. And if you don't have a bread machine, you could mix all this by hand. This just makes life a lot easier. Add 1 egg, 1 cup of warm milk, and add the yeast. And don't forget to add the rest of the water. And add 2 teaspoons of salt. Now I'm going to put this in my bread machine and put it on the dough cycle and let it run. As the bread machine is running, I'll keep an eye on it when it's first mixing it to make sure I get the right consistency on the dough. Depending on your weather, your moisture content, your flour can vary. Today I had to add a little flour to this. Sometimes you might have to add a little extra water, but you want the dough to look like that. You want it to pull away from the sides of the pan, not be too sticky or not too dry either. Now that the dough has risen, I'm going to punch it down and let it sit for 10 minutes. For the filling mixture, I'm mixing together 3/4 cup of brown sugar, 2 teaspoons of cinnamon, 3 tablespoons of the instant vanilla pudding, and mix that together. Now add just enough water to make this a paste. By using the instant pudding in this, it has modified cornstarch in it, which will allow the cinnamon mixture to remain like distinct in there rather than melting into the cinnamon rolls. This is why I think that the secret to the cinnabons is the vanilla pudding. It's because of the modified cornstarch in it. By adding it to the dough, you'll get a moisture bread part, and then by doing this you'll get that separate sticky gooey filling. And I've never had a cinnabon before, so if any of you tried this, let me know if it's close to the real thing. I'm going to have to go to the mall one day and buy one just to see. But I do think this is the secret, because the woman that developed this recipe said that she had tried many things and just wasn't coming up with what she had in mind. So she thought about what her grandma would do, and then she ran to the store, bought an ingredient, came back, put it together, and that's how the cinnabon was born. You know, grandma is kind of sometimes do things the easy way. Don't assume that she did it the hard way. She ran to the store and got an ingredient. I have a feeling she picked up a box of pudding. So I'm going to let this sit and roll out the dough. Okay, I've rolled out the dough into a big rectangle. I don't know how big it is. I'd say probably 2 feet wide by 18 inches across, something like that. So now I'm going to spread the filling on it. Okay, now I have the filling all over it and it's time to roll it up. Now just cut this roll into sections about 1 inch wide and put them on a buttered cookie sheet. Then cover them and let them rise for about 30 minutes. Okay, the rolls have risen for about 30 minutes. Now I'm going to put them in the oven at 400 degrees for about 15 minutes or so. For the icing, I have 3 tablespoons of softened butter, and I'm going to add 2 cups of confectioner sugar. I'm going to add about half a teaspoon of vanilla. And I'm going to add enough milk to give me a frosting. A couple tablespoons. Just keep mixing it till it's frosting. Okay, there's the cinnamon rolls. They bake for 12 minutes, and when they cool down a bit, then I'll frost them. Now just ice the rolls. These are still warm. And these rolls are nice and soft. And the modified cornstarch in that pudding actually helps doughs stay moister. And I've read that if you use the modified cornstarch or instant clear gel in your baked goods, you could actually cut the fat by as much as half because it results in a moister bread. So here they are. Aren't they beautiful? Well, let's see what we have here. Here's how the cinnamon rolls turned out. And I've never had a Cinnabon, but I can't imagine they would be any better than this. These are nice and light and soft, and the cinnamon filling kind of remains separate in them instead of getting totally soaked into the dough. And if you wanted more of a cinnamon filling, then you could like double that recipe if you like. And they're excellent. And I believe that the modified cornstarch in that pudding mix helps to keep the dough moister, and you could actually cut some fat out of the recipe if you like, if you use the pudding mixture. They're excellent, absolutely excellent. Like I say, you can't get any better than this. So that's how I make cinnamon rolls. I hope it helps.